Yeah, and I understand that it's scary to invest into people, and I think there's a lot of people that they just overwhelm themselves. They're
Yeah.
thinking about all the way to the end of the process instead of just starting. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to freaking jump off the cliff and you build the plane or the parachute on the way down.
Yep.
And just start. Too
Yeah.
many of you are overcomplicating things and saying, "What if this happens? What if that happens?" There's something that is called the law of assumption. This law has completely changed my life ever since I got into entrepreneurship. And I saw that there is proof in the pudding that other people were successful from trading or entrepreneurship or whatever it is. I knew immediately that it was possible for me. And the law of assumption states whatever you presume to be true will eventually become true. And the way that I look at my life is I'm constantly evolving and becoming better. Everything is working out for my plan and my purpose, and I'm constantly reaching new levels. Too many of you, you have this one experience in your life that hinders you from thinking positive and believing in yourself and the overall vision. Guys, you constantly need to know that everything is working out in your purpose.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too, I don't know if you ever heard of the butterfly effect.
Talk it.
That's another one of my favorite things is like the analogy is that one flap of a butterfly's wings can cause a typhoon 90,000 miles away. And it's like one single action can change the course of your life forever. And I think, at least for me, the two things that I can point out were the decision to go to school or not go to school, or to invest in Mason's program where I first learned copy and not do that. And both those were extremely scary decisions, but those minuscule things that I did, like literally coming down to the click of a button of like de-enroll and like the payment button on that program, like have changed the course of where my life goes. And I have so many friends that have attested to this. And like all of my friends I know that are successful today, I can really trace back, like when talking to them, I can trace back to the decision, the single decision they made of like, I'm going to do this, and what like just led that spiral away. So,
A lot of people don't understand this, but if you were to go through your bank statements and you start looking over where your money's going,
yeah.
you'll get a much better idea on where your money's actually going and it's going to pointless shit.
Yeah.
I recommend every single one of you print out your last 3 bank statements and you look at all your expenses from your entertainment crap.
Yeah.
Movies, going to the movies, going to the bar, going to dinner, and you should all calculate what is the total of all that money that you have spent on those things that are bringing zero value in your life. And it's, dude, you guys need to stop trying to chase instant gratification.
Yeah.
See where your money's going on this entertainment BS and instead allocate that money into a mentor, into the stock market, into index funds, a crypto portfolio, and you'll be astonished to see how easy it is to actually start getting rich. Like, you guys don't need to have the whole entire business plan. If you have a couple of key components on where you can put your money, then you're going to be able to level up and live a very, very fulfilling life in the next 20 to 30 years. And a lot of people, they're just missing information. I'm going to give you guys some game right now. If you guys go to charlesschwab.com and you open up an individual brokerage account, this is where you guys can invest into stocks, index funds, bonds. Everything is on there. I would recommend you guys invest into the S&P 500 ETF. And this isn't financial advice. Do your research or whatever you guys need to do. But these are like what some of my mentors have told me years ago that I didn't follow. Every single month, put at least $500 to $1,000 in the S&P 500. And within 20 years, you'll have a massive portfolio. And it's like you don't go and invest one time. You dollar cost average. You're consistently investing.
Yeah.
And then as you consistently invest, you have the compound effect where your money just goes up.
Way up. Yeah.
In the S&P 500 on average, they say does 8 to 10% a year. Actually, over the past year, the S&P 500 did over 30 freaking percent. If you had $1 million, which $1 million is not that much money. If you had $1 million in the S&P 500, you would have just made $300,000 by doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You can set everything up so it's reoccurring. It's just, dude, nobody knows about this stuff. It's like there's Charles Schwab a really beginner investing app for a lot of people is Acorns. You can get that app, set up a recurring budget, it will automatically invest for you. For crypto, you can get the app Uphold and you can start investing in Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, Cardano, Solana. There's all these freaking ways to invest. And I think just by this video, you watching this video, guys, it will help you out tremendously.
Yeah, 100%. I think also on top of that as well, just to add to that, like,
Yeah.
understand where to be more frugal with money and understand where to be more conservative. Like me today, I will throw thousands of dollars on like investments on hiring people that I know are gonna like, grow my business. I will spend, a ton of money on stuff like that I know will come back in return and benefit me in a different way, like business wise. But like the club, drinks out, stuff like that. Like I'm a lot more aware of now because every time I see that go away, I'm like, oh, that could be something I could be back investing in myself, investing in something you just mentioned. And it's just such a different perspective now for me. I'm like, I'm always looking at like, where's the highest ROI thing I can just put my money into to really grow more, you know?
You know what? I'm gonna probably butcher this, but there's a study that was done recently, and it said in 2000 the average attention span was 15 minutes. In 2010, the average attention span was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
In 2015, the average attention span was, I think, 5 minutes. In 2025, guess what the average attention span is?
1.7 seconds.
No, 15 seconds.
Yeah, something super low. It's insane. Short form content.
I commend anyone that's still watching this video right now because
yeah, shout out. You're still watching this. Yeah. Literally.
You're patient, and patience is truly what's going to separate you from a lot of people. I mean, dude, instant gratification. I need to order food. I'll go on DoorDash right now. I need to order Uber. I'll go on Uber right now. I need a car. Go on Uber. Everything is at the touch of our fingers.
But then even too, it's like, it's taking away like activities that used to just be like relaxing activities. Like people like wake up in the morning and they like take their morning shower and like, as they're brushing their teeth, they're scrolling Instagram reels, they're scrolling through TikTok. As they're making their bed, they have TikTok on the other hand. It's like activities that are like in between sets at the gym. It's like, it's so much like just taking over our brains on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. I would love to see the studies of a child's mind in 20 years from now and see how freaking obliterated it's going to be and how it's freaking sad. But here's what I do probably once a week is on Amazon. I bought this little plastic lockbox, and on the top, it has a little timer. You can put it to however long you want. You click lock, and whatever's in there, you can't get out unless you freaking break it or something, but you can't get it out. And the other week, I put my phone in there and I said, do you know what? I'm going to set this timer for 2 days. And I clicked it and boom, I felt so much peace in those 2 days than I have in the past 10 years of being on my phone every day working. It was just so refreshing. And you'll notice that we as humans, we have built up these habitual habits. When you go on your phone, I don't know if you guys do this, but if I go on my phone, I usually go to Instagram. Then I'll go to Telegram, then I'll go to my messages and my email. And if there's no new notifications on there, I'll lock my phone. 10 minutes later, I'll do the freaking same exact thing.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So you need to be able to go and notice these patterns that you have and be able to stop them. But most people aren't conscious enough to be aware of this. Therefore, they're slaves to their freaking phones and their devices. And dude, the companies like Instagram and stuff, they're making money just off people being on the platform
100%,
itself.
100%. Yeah. That's how they keep you on. They push your ads and stuff.
There's app limiters too. If you guys go on your phone, there are app limiters where you can go and set like a 2-hour limit on each app. So if you go on Instagram, you're like, okay, I want to spend no more than an hour on this app. After you've been on the app for an hour, it will say your time's up and you can't go on the app, and you can click it and say ignore for 15 minutes or 1 more minute. But I highly suggest that you don't do that and you just leave the app. But there's a lot of little tricks and tools that will help you so you don't get addicted, because a lot of people are addicted to their phones. And I can admit openly that I'm freaking addicted to mine too. And that's what they did. It's that instant dopamine hit that they're giving people because they don't want people finding the real true dopamine hits in this world. Going on a hike without a phone, going to the beach. I know you love surfing, cooking a nice dinner, so many people are reliant on these fake dopamine
Yeah.
hits to give them that dopamine instead of finding it in the real world. And they've done a magnificent job controlling the populations.
Yeah.
Everyone's just stuck in life. And there's a book, it's called Outwitting the Devil. Best book I've ever
Hmm.
fucking read in my life. And it talks about how there's people, they call them drifters. And these people that are drifters, they have absolutely no control of their life, and they're just drifting through life, and whatever happens, any scenario just kind of guides them in a certain direction, and they have no willpower to say, hey, this is my fucking life. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do with it. Let me take control. And it's sad to see so many of you are like that nowadays. You have zero self-discipline. You follow the masses in the crowds, whatever else someone else is doing, you copy and try and replicate it. There's no free will and free thinking in today's society, which is fucked, bro.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Do you want to know what I do for like the dopamine thing, like what I did in the beginning? So
Yeah.
I read an interesting study that one of the reasons people are so addicted to short form content is because of all like the stimulation. So a lot of that comes down to like the colors of the
Mm.
videos. So what I did is I made it on my phone to where I can click this 3 times and my phone turns black and white.
Wow.
So my like when I go if I'm on my phone during the workday, I have my phone in black and white from like usually wake up around like 5 to 6 a.m. from like then to like 7 when I'm done with work for the day, and then I'll turn it on color.
How do you
So
do that?
it's a thing in settings. Like you literally just make it so you can set up like a trigger to where it goes to black and white if you click it 3 times, and then it's makes everything far less stimulating. But if I have to send a text message, I still can. So that's some absolute sauce. If you're having trouble with like doom scrolling, set your phone on black and white for the workday. It will
Wow.
change everything. It makes it so boring, and you're just like, I don't want to be on this thing. Like, I want to go do something else. I want to go outside. I want color. So that's what I love to do for that.
Dude, that's a hack right there.
Yeah,
What are
some sauce.
what are some like routines you have in your day-to-day life that help you like kind of stay focused, or like things you do?
Biggest thing for me is waking up. I think the first hour of your day will set up the rest of it.
Mm.
Like if I wake up and I lay in bed and I scroll through Instagram reels, I'll have a 20 times worse day than if I wake up at like whatever time. I usually wake up around like but anytime between 5 and 6 usually is when I wake up. If I usually wake up, I'll hop in the shower, I brew a coffee, and then I immediately first thing I do, word of God. Either I have like I have this book called it's like Jesus Calling. It's like daily devotionals every single day. So I read that usually, or I'll read like some of my Bible. Just depends. I like to switch it up, on a day to day basis. Always start my day with God. And then from there I brew a coffee and I get right to work. Usually work for like 2 hours until I'm a little fried, and then I go to the gym and come back and just keep working. And that's the best way I can start my day. And I think it all comes down to like, what do you do in the morning? Do you snooze the alarm? Do you lay in bed scrolling, or do you get up and do you get after the day?
Yeah,
What about you?
facts.
What's yours like?
So usually right when I wake up, I like to say my thanks, show
Mhm.
gratitude, and dude, I'm gonna give you guys some game over the next 2 minutes. Listen into this, bro. So yeah, I like to wake up in the mornings though, pray, show gratitude, and then I usually hop in the shower immediately.
Mhm.
And then after I'm done, I drink a big glass of water. Gotta have the water
Yep.
in your mind. If you guys don't know this, your brains are 90% water. So within the first 30 to 60 minutes of waking up, the best thing that you can do is drink 1 to 2 glasses of water, or like a whole bottle of water, and you'll feel amazing. And it's made the biggest difference in my life. I struggle with headaches all the time, and I would
Mm.
get them usually around like 11 a.m. super early. And I started drinking the water in the morning, and they completely vanished. So that's usually what I do is I like usually wake up, get in the shower, do my devotion, pray like you do, and then drink my water. And I trade at 6:30 a.m. And then after that, I go for a really long walk. I get 10,000 steps in. Got to stay moving that body. And they did a major study recently that said the healthiest people in the world are the ones that walk at least 10,000 steps every single day. So if you guys are trying to lose fat or be in better shape, all you need to walk, all you need to do is walk. And there's even an app, the health app on your phone, that will track everything. It will show you your daily steps. Everything is on there. But when it comes to these affirmations, we as humans, we have 60,000 thoughts every single day, and 80% of the thoughts that the average person has are negative thoughts. They've had someone die in their life. They've had some traumatic experience that has now shaped the way that they perceive the world. So I've noticed that a positive affirmation is 10 times more positive or powerful than a negative thought. So whenever you have these negative thoughts, you need to reaffirm it with the positive affirmation. If you're like, I feel sad, I'm loved,
Yeah.
I'm appreciated, I'm cared for, I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm constantly improving every single day, I'm in the best shape of my life. You saying those affirmations, when these words come out of your mouth, they're casting spells, whether it's a positive or negative spell that you're casting. These
So true.
words and the thoughts that come out of your life are creating your reality. What you think about on a day to day basis, you bring about.
Oh,
And
100%.
that's why they talk about in the book Outwitting the Devil that people are drifters because they have no control over their thoughts. And a belief is simply a pattern of a thought that has been thought enough times. So when you think of yourself as being ugly, you've thought that maybe for a week straight. You now have identified and you have a belief within yourself that you're ugly.
Yeah.
And it's
And it'll
crazy.
affect your confidence, it'll affect how you speak about yourself, it'll affect your mood, like, it affects and it's so the thing that's funny about that is it's so easy to write that off as, like, "Oh, like, yeah, I'm ugly, whatever," and then, like, you just go about the rest of your life. It's like but it's like you don't realize what saying that how many areas of your life that affects
Yeah.
until you reframe it, and then you're like, "Wow, I'm more confident. I can speak to people better. I'm more energized. I feel better about myself on a day-to-day way. I'm more motivated." It's crazy what positive self-talk can do.
Hmm. You know, it's really, really interesting to be able to observe yourself. And these devices, like I said, they did a brilliant job on keeping people distracted. There's no free thinking in this world. And the
Yeah,
best way to get the ability to think differently is being with oneself. You need to be in that solitude and that silence to really be able to observe and question, why do I think that I'm ugly though?
yeah,
Why is my life the way that it is? And nobody has the time to do that because we're so distracted in this busy world. But here's some freaking powerful stuff right here. The two words I am are two of the most powerful words you can speak, but whatever comes after I am is even more powerful. You see kids, dude, that are 12, 13 years old killing themselves because of social media and this crap.
yeah,
They're basing their life around a facade of someone else, and a lot of people that you guys see on the internet that are really not living the life that they perceive. It's all
yeah.
freaking fake, and they say comparison is the thief
Thief
of
of joy.
all joy. And I believe that because, dude, you can't look at somebody else and say, oh, they have this and that. When the one thing that's really helped me retain high levels of happiness and peace in my life is being able to look at what I already have. And if you want more in life, you can't expect to get more if you don't even appreciate what you have.
Yeah,
It's like me being with you and I drive you and I take you to shopping, I take you shopping, I get you food, and you don't say thank you or show any
yeah,
gratitude. I'm like, dude, why the hell would I still help you out when you don't even show that you appreciate what I've already done for you?
yeah,
And the same thing applies. There's principles and laws that govern this world. And once you can be able to identify the way of life, that the certain ways of life and how it needs to be lived, your life becomes so much more beautiful in every area of your life.
yeah. So true. And especially just, like, one thing I love to do is just, like, in my day to day, like, I'll find random things and I'll just be like, I'll just thank God for those things. And I'll just literally just like, the sun's out in a day and the weather's good and I get to go surf. Like I'll thank God for that. If I get to see my
Mm,
mom in the morning, get coffee there, I thank God. It's just so important to just show gratitude on a day to day basis for what you have. And I think, especially going off with what you said with like the comparing yourself thing, I think with social media and especially in the entrepreneurship space, new people, it's so easy for like these beginners to fall into this trap of like, looking at people's Instagram going, "Oh, that guy has a Rolex, that guy has a Lamborghini." And it's like, you don't know how blessed you could be, in your life. You don't know what their life looks like. Just because they have a Rolex and a Lamborghini, like, there's a very good chance that if you were in their position, you would be way more sad. Like, I always tell people, I'm like, never look to compare yourself to other people on materialistic things. Like, just because someone has a Rolex does not mean that, like, they're living a more fulfilled life than you. And I always try to tell people, like, your joy and fulfillment will come from the experiences and the people you're around. Like, you will never be on your deathbed being like, I just want to look at my Lambo one more time. Like, you're going to be like, I want to be around my family. I want to remember the beautiful experiences that I got to live in this life, And the way I always see it now is I'm like, wow, like, I'm so blessed to live in San Diego, to wake up every morning, to go surf, then come home and, just work on my business all day that I'm so passionate about and, like,
Mhm.
help other people. Like, that's the most important thing to me. Like, you know, so I think the biggest thing too is it's like you can't compare yourself to people you see on the internet just off of like materialism too. I think that's such a dangerous trap to fall in, but yet so many people fall into it.
Yep.
And it's like, if that's why you want to become, if like materialistic things and money is the true reason you want to become successful, I think it's setting yourself up for a really bad place because you don't actually have a purpose and piece of fulfillment behind that. If you just want the thing, you know.
You know, money only amplifies
So
money only amplifies who you are and how you feel right now. And I was constantly looking for the cars, the women, the dinners, the lifestyle to make me happy and fill this void. But I never truly understood that that void was a spiritual void. And once I connected with higher powers, God, universe, whatever you guys want to call it, that's when I became complete within myself. When I started looking inward and loving myself and who I was and seeing my full potential, that's when I experienced the highest levels of peace in my life. And that's really what it comes down to is being authentic and real with oneself. So many people are trying to live a life based on somebody else's ideals and the way that they perceive the world instead of actually questioning itself within themselves and saying, what is my idea of success for Colt? What does success look like for me? Not for Tommy, not for John on the internet, not for Kim Kardashian. What does success and happiness truly look like for me? And if you really start to dig deep and ask yourself these really vulnerable and hard questions, you're going to be able to see a different side of life and learn more about yourself and what truly will make you happy as a human being.
yeah, 100%. No, I so agree. And I think it's so easy to fall into the trap of like just chasing the money. And it's like that alone will not fulfill you. And that alone also won't take you to the place that you want to go. My church recently did a series back in like late of last year, and I truly think it's honestly changed my life forever. And they titled it they because like each sermon on each Sunday that I went to, it was like a part of the series. So for like I think it was like a 4 month span, it was called "In Cash We Trust," and it was all about how so many people will trust money over trusting God, and they'll do everything in their life in accordance to chase money and materialism. And it's like until you separate, like, I'm trusting God with the plan of my life, and I understand that I will be, like, it's not my money, it's his. And it made me, it made me want to tithe. It made me want to do, just really trust him and not just chase like the number in my bank account. And it's like when you stop chasing money as a number, you start to see that you're chasing fulfillment, you're chasing purpose, and that's where you'll really see progress.
You want to know why so many of you are broke watching this is because you don't have any consideration for other people. You're too worried about yourself. And when you go into the game thinking about money, unconsciously, you're putting resistance on it because you're saying, I want this, and you're constantly chasing that. But when you look at it and you start saying, okay, what value can I give to someone else? What do I need to work on within myself to actually get that result? And you start doing it, then it becomes so much easier and it
Yeah.
comes to you easily.
Yeah.
And money is supposed to come easily and frequently, but so many of you have a different belief. You look at it as a lack. You're lacking something, and you put so much energy on the lack of not having it that it goes so much further away. And a great analogy is the shadow effect. If I go chase my shadow, I will never catch that thing.
Never.
But as soon as I turn my back and I walk the other way, my shadow starts to follow me.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. Did I think it's so true. I think it's so easy. Like, you need to understand too, like, I feel like with especially if you're like starting, if you just go into it like trying to make money, it's like you're never gonna get anywhere. And so many people will, wake up every day, sit on their couch, just trying to make money. And it's like once you start switching that to like, okay, who's somebody I can help? How can I add value? That's where you'll really start to see the shift of like, okay, now I'm noticing that this comes a little bit easier,
One of the highest frequencies in life, most people think it's love, but it's actually being authenticity.
Yeah.
And like you said, when you chase money, it runs the opposite way. And here's a good analogy is I date a good amount of women, and I've noticed that some women, when they see my Instagram, they see me living this lifestyle, and they're immediately saying, "Okay, I'm gonna get boy for some money." And I'm not stupid. Like
Yeah, dude.
I
Yeah.
I notice when a girl really likes me for me and when she wants my lifestyle and what I have. And women, I'm not saying this is for every woman, but a lot of women, they're going and expecting the result right away. And instead of nourishing the relationship and understanding, hey, if I really bring value to this guy's life and I do what he wants, he's gonna give me the world. And for all the ladies watching this, dude, if you want that guy that really has his shit together, a high value man is very hard to retain if you're not working on yourself. You have to give to get back. And too many people nowadays are trying to take without giving anything in return. And if you help enough people get what they want in life, you'll eventually get what you want in life. And that's how I was able to achieve such high levels of success in my business and trading, is because when it came to the business side, I was giving so much free value on Instagram, YouTube, not asking people for money for my services to teach them how to trade. I was just fully focused on giving, and God recognizes that. God recognizes how you are operating in this world, and he knows,
Mhm.
dude, you're looking at it for the wrong things. I'm
Yeah.
not going to bless you. If I give you the Ferrari, you're going to use it for the wrong things. If I give
Yeah.
you the money, you're going to go to the strip club. You're going to go to clubs. You're not going to give it to charity. You're not going to start a nonprofit. So the way that a lot of you should start, and it's not you should, you must, you must be operating out of the frequency of authenticity and being your true self within. And we all know when we're being our true selves and when we're putting on this freaking facade. Let's be real, guys.
Oh, 100%. I'm actually so curious, like, with the whole, like, dating thing, like, what are, like, your, like, telltale signs of, like, this is a genuine person and this is, like, someone that
Oh,
that is trying to use
dude.
me, in a sense?
You guys want to know a crazy story?
Let's hear it.
So I was in LA probably 6 months ago, and I was on Instagram and I got a DM from this girl. She's like, "Hey, what's up? Are you in LA?" Because I had posted in LA, and I was like, "It's like, yeah, what's good?" She's like, "We should link up." I was like, "Oh, okay, sure." Like, she's cute, bad girl. And I like link up with this girl and we like start drinking and we're in like the hotel I was in, and it's like it's all chill. And then out of nowhere, these Latina girls are freaking crazy, by the way, bro. I'm never gonna date a Latina again. Like Asians, Middle Eastern girls are the way to go. But I was with this girl and we were hanging out and drinking, and like all of a sudden she like gets in my face and she's like, "You're not gonna disrespect me." Like spazzed out. I was like, dude, and I know I didn't say anything offhand or anything
Mhm.
crazy. I was like, whoa, like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying. And then she hits me in the face. I was
No
like,
way.
what? Yeah. And then I like move away. I'm like, I'm not hitting a girl back, getting involved in, like, I have too much on the line, my reputation and everything. And I basically like, I was like, yo, can you please get out of here? And she wouldn't leave. I had to call security for her to finally leave, and I have videos of this and everything. She starts throwing glasses and breaking them in the hotel. And then she finally leaves once security gets there. So me, I'm in the hotel like chilling, and I go down to the lobby like 10 minutes later to make sure she's gone. She's like a fireball. These Latinos are crazy. And it's like not all Latinos are like that. I'm not gassing you guys are hating. Like, I love my Latinos and my Latinas, don't be wrong. But like I go down to the lobby And as I'm going back to the elevator door opens and she's there with the security and she says, "He hit me." I was like, "Oh my gosh." And then the receptionist and security bring us together like, "Did you hit her?" And like she had some little thing like on her neck from who knows where, like how she got that. And then they're like trying to say like, "Bro, you might be in trouble." And she starts threatening to call the cops. And like she keeps saying she's going to call the cops.